USA Radio News with Jason Wirt.
We're going to stop the ridiculous trade deals that have taken everybody out of our country and taking companies out of our country. And it's going to be reversed. I think you're going to have a lot of companies come back to our country.
President Trump talking trade today with business leaders.
We're going to have trade, but we're going to have one-on-one. And if somebody misbehaves, we're going to send them a letter of termination, 30 days, and they'll either straighten it out or we're gone.
President Trump today also making good on one of his campaign pledges, reversing executive actions by President Obama, including his job-killing order to stop the Keystone XL pipeline.
This is with regard to the construction of the Keystone pipeline, something that's been in dispute, and it's subject to a renegotiation of terms by us.
All three stock markets today ending the day in positive territory. The Dow Jones up 113 points. USA Radio News. Democrats in Congress are pushing a $1 trillion infrastructure package,
addressing issues from aging water pipes to high-speed internet, while also rebuilding bridges and roads, airports and seaports. The Democrats' $1 trillion infrastructure plan would rely on direct federal spending. That's something GOP leaders have not embraced, but the Democrats say they are hoping that it will gain the support of President Trump, as they say it would create 15 million jobs. I'm Chris Barnes.
Former President George H.W. Bush will spend a few more days in a Houston hospital as he continues to recover from a bout of pneumonia. A Bush family spokesman says the 92-year-old is sitting up and chatting with doctors and visitors. The 41st president was moved from the ICU yesterday. His wife Barbara was treated for bronchitis at the same hospital and released. And thousands paying their respects to Kansas City Royals pitcher Yordano Ventura in the Dominican Republic. The 25-year-old baseball star died in a car crash there Sunday morning. USA Radio News. Republicans on Capitol Hill say Democrats are playing politics with a nomination of Representative Tom Price to HHS.
If confirmed, Georgia Republican Congressman Tom Price would be in charge of implementing Republican plans to repeal and replace Obamacare. He said a replacement should be formed according to certain principles.
Affordability, accessibility, quality, responsiveness, innovation, and choices.
Oregon Democrat Ron Wyden attacked Republican efforts
in the scheme known as repeal and run. The secret replacement plan is still hidden.
Utah Republican Orrin Hatch accused Democrats of going too far in trying to delay the president's cabinet picks. On Capitol Hill, I'm Terry Moore.
Doctors are now saying cervical cancer is one of the most easily cured cancers. Here's more on the story from Mark Mayfield.
Health officials say cervical cancer is now one of the most preventable forms of cancer thanks to improvements in screening procedures and the HPV vaccine. Dr. Robert DiBernardo with the Cleveland Clinic says it's still important to see a women's health doctor regularly.
The discussion in this country has changed, so I need a pap smear, which most women translate into, I don't need to see a gynecologist. I would tell you, forget about it. See a gynecologist once a year.
Dr. DiBernardo says doctors now know about 99% of cervical cancers are caused by HPV. Doctors are looking for abnormal cells when women have cervical exams, and because doctors have a better understanding of the virus that causes most cases of cervical cancer, they're able to determine which abnormal cells they need to worry about.
USA Radio News.
USA.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your website, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
All right, folks, well, happy Tuesday night. That's right, it's time for America Off the Rails. I'm Rick Robinson, host around here, and we're coming to you live from KLRNradio.com. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. We've got some Trump news, we've got some Washington rally news, and a bunch of other things that we need to talk about. So what do you say we get this thing kicked off right about now? All right, folks, this is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. As promised, we are going to get things kicked off. Now, we've got lots of stuff going on in the news, and of course, there are a few audio clips that I wanted to make sure that I played today. And of course, a lot of my focus today is going to be the back and forth right now between the pro-life side of the argument and the pro-abort side of the argument. Because let's make no mistake anymore, folks. The ones that are the most vocal on the other side of the argument anymore don't even really deserve to be able to call themselves pro-choice anymore, because there's only one stance to their argument. A woman should be able to kill a child pretty much any time they want to, as long as they're still in utero. And that has been something that has become a sticking point for a lot of us. And I hear people all the time say that we need to take the emotional side of the equation out of this. As a father, though, I can't do that. I really can't. Because I see that my children, as they've grown and become adults, I have 4 children at this point, 6 total if you count the stepchildren that I have. We don't typically use that word in this house, but it's just something that I use to try to clarify with people that we are a blended family. So I have a total of 6 children. Most of them are adults now. My youngest is 16 years old. My youngest was not planned. My wife and I thought our family was done. This was already marriage number 2 for me. Our youngest child at that point was 5, 6 years old. And we thought we were done. We were already mapping out what we were going to do in that short 12-year span from the time that he was 6 until the time that he was 18. We were already mapping out what we were going to do with the rooms when the kids were out of the house, because we were still fairly young. So we were looking at things ahead of time. But God had other plans. And he brought us a beautiful baby boy who has been nothing but a joy. All of my children have really, in a lot of ways, been nothing but joy. I won't tell you that there haven't been days that things didn't go as planned. There haven't been days where, as a father, I'm looking up, wringing my hands going, how did we get here? I mean, everybody has those moments. But overall, I would not change anything, any part of my life that involves my children. And to think that there are people that are out there that view children as a complete inconvenience, that it doesn't matter because it's just a clump of cells. Folks, it is not a clump of cells. I know what they try to tell you, but that's the reason why anytime somebody that actually understands how this works tries to craft some form of legislation to make sure that the people that are deciding whether or not they're going to keep a baby or terminate a baby have to get a look at the baby using an ultrasound machine. Because we know enough now to know that a baby starts to look a lot like a baby a lot earlier than we thought. And here's my question, and it's always been my question. We deem death is pretty straightforward. Death occurs when your heart stops beating. So my question with all of this is, why is it that life is not judged the same way? I mean, is it really that hard of a concept to think about the fact that maybe, just maybe, life should be judged the exact same way? When we can hear a heartbeat, maybe that should be when we start talking about this little thing that we like to call life. Not to sound a little bit like Prince for a moment, but I just realized that I went pretty long in this segment. We are going to have to take a really quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk some more about this whole pro-life march that's coming up, the Women's March that has already occurred, and a pretty popular hashtag that yours truly was actually involved in. And for once in my, 7, 8, 9 years of doing this stuff, I finally made it on Twitchy. We'll talk about that when we get back to. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We will be right back here in just about 60 seconds.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Tools and businesses with
All right, folks, we are back. We are live. This is America Off the Rails coming to you live from KLRNradio.com. Want to give a quick shout out to the affiliates because I realized I didn't do that at the opening of the show. We are available on Lanterns Radio Network every Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're available on AMFM247.com every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And we're also available every day. Actually, hang on. SierraandTalk.com is the next biggest one. We're available there on Saturdays and Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, 7 Pacific. And I just actually found out that we are on another affiliate, and for some reason their name escapes me, so we'll get that one when we come back. But honestly, I didn't even know that they had picked us up until I saw a tweet about it yesterday. So I want to make sure that I give them a shout out, but we'll have to do that later in the show because I don't want to get their name wrong. All right, so pardon me. Still trying to get over the crud, so every once in a while you're going to have to put up with me coughing. But there are lots of things to talk about in the news. Actually, one of them was this Women's March organizer, Linda Sarsour. I'm not even sure how to pronounce her name. It looks like it's spelled sour, so that's going to kind of be what I'm going to go with here. Actually, she is pretty heavily involved in the whole movement to bring Sharia to America, which interests me because these same people that are telling us that they're marching for the rights of women are actually seem to be pawns of a group that seemingly want to take the rights of women away. And actually, there is a picture of her where she was clearly making the sign of allegiance to the Islamic State in a photo with the upraised index finger, which is a signal. The index finger held up is, of course, a signal used in myriad contexts, and Muslims in general have used it as a sign of allegiance to Tawhid, Islam's absolute monotheism. However, in recent years, it has become very much associated with allegiance to jihad groups, particularly the Islamic State. The signal has been known to be a sign of allegiance to the Islamic State for almost as long as there has been an Islamic State. It has been described as the group's ubiquitous hand signal. It strains credulity to think that a Muslim as committed and informed as Linda Sarsour in January 2017 would not know its significance as a sign of support for the Islamic State. Her defenders will no doubt heap scorn upon those who note this and say it's just a universal sign of being Muslim. To affirm that is to ignore a multitude of photographs of jihadis and news stories that have been published over the last 3 years. Linda Sarsour, in making this gesture, had to know what she was implying and how Muslims the world over would understand it. She could account on the credulity and willful ignorance of her leftist allies to make sure that she would suffer no damage to her role as a civil rights heroine. Now, why is this important, you might ask? Because this is one of the most vocal voices that I can find as far as a female spokesman for the Muslim religion that wants to bring ISIS, or not ISIS, that wants to bring Sharia, well, I guess maybe ISIS too, to America. Now, I urge you to do your own research. I urge you to look into what Sharia law actually encompasses. Because if you ask the layperson what Sharia law is, they look at it as something like our 10 Commandments. Basically, it's an outline of what it is that a Muslim is or is not supposed to do. That is not what Sharia law is. And that is not what the Islamic religion is. Islam in itself is not a religion. It is a form of government. Everything they can and cannot do is outlined for them. How they should behave, how they should conduct business, what they should wear, what it is okay for them to do, what it is okay for them to eat, what it is okay for them to drink. Now, a lot of you right now are saying, but Rick, it says that same stuff in the Old Testament. But remember, the Old Testament, while it is still an important teaching tool, Jesus said these words, I bring to you a new beginning. The Old Testament is important. It is still a teaching tool. But a lot of what was necessary in the Old Testament is no longer necessary in the New Testament. And let's not forget, for those of you that are nitpicking, the word testament didn't used to be testament. It used to say Old Covenant and New Covenant. And for those of you who were wondering, you can look it up. Covenant is an agreement. So in the first book of the, that whole section of the Bible we commonly call the Old Testament, it was actually the Old Covenant, which is an old agreement between man and God. Jesus brought about a new agreement. There has been no reformation of any kind in the Quran. There has not. If anything, if you read about the people that understand the Quran and have studied the Quran, it's not even necessarily supposed to be read in any particular order, because it wasn't written in any particular order. As a matter of fact, the more militant factions stick to the back of the book. And this is what concerns a lot of us when it comes to this type of stuff. We had people marching in D.C., supposedly under the banner of making sure that women didn't wind up barefoot and pregnant like we had them in the 50s. And there is a Muslim organizer involved in this group who is openly tweeting about wanting to bring Sharia law to America, who is advocating for the reasons why Sharia law in America would be a good thing, is telling us that it is a good thing, that under Sharia law, women would get paid maternity leave. Under Sharia law, you don't have to worry about paying interest on your credit cards. Wouldn't Sharia law be a lovely thing in America? Because don't you hate paying your interest on your credit cards? Now just let all of this sink in. This same person who is organizing and has organized a march touting the rights of women is trying to put women in burqas and the head coverings and make sure that they can only eat certain types of meat, can make sure that there's this whole list of things that they can't do or they risk death. But these people are marching for women's rights. Now you tell me that the people in this country have not lost their way. You tell me that the people in this country are no longer paying attention to what's important. And you want me to tell you another little quick tidbit before we go to the next set of breaks. Another group of people that have most definitely and most assuredly lost their way are the media, because they have been, instead of paying attention to some really, really interesting things that the Trump administration has been doing in the first few days that they've been in power, they have been focusing on the fact that Donald Trump has been openly trolling them. Because he will be the first one to tell you that the media is lying about the size of the groups that were at his inauguration. I can tell you after reviewing the pictures, I'm not so sure they did. I think he knows they didn't necessarily lie about it either. But they haven't been talking about the Women's March and how big it was and the impact of it, because they've been too busy talking about the fact that Donald Trump seems to think that there are alternative facts to how many people attended his inauguration. Just for the sake of argument here, let's not forget it was pouring down rain. And if you look at the ratings on television for the inauguration, it was actually the most watched inauguration in history, if memory serves, which I think is what Trump was actually referring to, but everybody keeps getting hung up on the pictures with the two empty spaces all the way back in the back, while Trump is saying, but it was the most watched inauguration in history. Now, maybe I'm giving him too much credit, or maybe he's just trolling the media like he's done for the last 18 months. All I know is one way or another, I guess they should probably buckle in and get ready for the ride, because I don't think he plans on stopping anytime soon. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We have got to pay some bills. We'll be right back here in about 3 minutes.
Following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
All right, folks, welcome back. Well, unfortunately, we've gone long on a couple of segments, so I've only got about 3 minutes, so we got to take another break. But I won't be able to squeeze in at least one good story, probably enough to get your blood boiling a little bit right before we go to break. Then we'll come back and we'll talk some more about this whole pro-life versus pro-abortion thing. I actually have some audio from some folks that have recently called into Planned Parenthood to ask some questions about the services that they provide. It is a video, so it may not all translate over well, but you'll get the gist of it. I'll actually play that when we come back from the break. But first, I just want to give you a little peek behind the curtain for the Obama administration on the way out the door. Now, for those of you hanging out in the chat room, this will be a repeat of the show, one of the topics we hit on hour 1 on the Jen and Rick show, but we're going to go ahead and touch on this one here for the folks that are listening elsewhere. And that is the fact that the Obama administration, within the last hours of their administration, actually shipped off a boatload of cash to the Palestinians. Yeah, good plan. So you're supposedly, the commander-in-chief, you've taken this oath to support, protect, defend the Constitution and us, and you ship off $221 million to the Palestinians in the waning hours of your presidency. Now, I'm no conspiracy theory guy, but it kind of makes you wonder. I mean, has he really kind of been this closet Islamic sympathizer the entire time that everybody made him out to be, and all the conspiracy theory folks said that he was? And the only reason I really asked that question is, think about this for a second. He did this on the way out the door, and he's been the only sitting president that I know of ever that has repeatedly held Ramadan celebrations in the White House. Now, they said that was specifically for Miss Jarrett. I'm not so sure. I'll let you be the judge, though, because, that's kind of how we do things here. I talk about it, I give you my opinion on it, and then I let you form your own opinion later, and we see where we come together and where we don't, because I don't... Pardon me. Trying not to die here. I apologize, folks. I don't expect you guys to always agree with me. So, sometimes I'm going to say things and you're going to think, oh my God, he's crazy. Then there's going to be other times where I'm going to say something and you're going to think I'm crazy, and then it's going to rattle around in your head for a few days, and you're going to come back and say, well, maybe, just maybe, he wasn't as crazy as we thought he was. But again, the jury's still out on that one. But just again, a couple of weird coincidences. Ramadan celebrations in the White House, and he hands off a boatload of cash to the Palestinians on the way out the door. All right, so we've got to take another really quick break. We've hit the bottom of the hour. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. Much more to talk about when we come back, so don't go away.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Having a place to go after school will make you a better student. Having an outlet to express yourself will make you a better artist. Having something to do together will make you a better family. At the Y, we're helping build better friends, listeners, writers, swimmers, scientists, and musicians, one chance at a time. Give the gift of opportunity. Support the Y at ymca.net. The Y, for a better us.
it helps if I remember to hit the mute button. All right, folks, we are back. We are live, and that's why you just heard me complain about missing my own mute button, because it's live radio. What are you going to do? All right, so as promised, we have some audio. Actually, this is a group that has put together a series of phone calls to various Planned Parenthood facilities around the country to find out exactly what type of services they provide. Because, that's been one of the big arguments of the left is, Planned Parenthood is not all about abortion. They offer so many other services. They offer prenatal care for women. They offer this. They offer that. Well, I'll let you be the judge. And again, this is a video, so it is not production quality, but it should still translate well enough. So...
we don't offer any prenatal care.
We don't offer prenatal care at Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood offers abortion, so they don't offer prenatal care.
Prenatal care. These are the kinds of services that folks depend on Planned Parenthood for.
And a president who will fight for prenatal care.
Prenatal care. And that is what we want to focus on. That is what is so vital.
Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood. My name. How can I assist you today?
Hi, I was hoping to make an appointment for prenatal care.
For what type of service?
Prenatal care, pregnancy care.
We don't have prenatal care here. Planned Parenthood offers abortion, so they don't offer prenatal care.
Okay, just abortions.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no. We wouldn't provide any type of prenatal services here at Planned Parenthood.
We're not a prenatal care provider. No Planned Parenthood does prenatal care. We don't offer prenatal care at Planned Parenthood. We specialize in abortions. That's what our ultrasounds are for, to see how far along the patient is.
Planned Parenthood, we do birth control, things like that, termination. We check for STI. We don't do prenatal.
We tell you you're pregnant, and we also let Planned Parenthood do the abortions.
Okay.
So we don't do any prenatal services here.
Prenatal.
No, we don't do prenatal services. I mean, it's called Planned Parenthood. I know it's kind of deceiving.
Do you have OBGYNs here?
We do not, no.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which is a deceptive name, right? I think the same thing.
Or, if you were looking into termination options, we can do that as well.
Did you know that Planned Parenthood can take care of all your reproductive health needs? Whether it's an annual exam, pregnancy testing and counseling, prenatal care, we are here for you with high-quality, low-cost services.
Thank you for holding. How can I help you?
Hi. I was wondering if you guys offer prenatal care.
No, we don't. Not at the moment. Neither our Hampton or Richmond office does. We don't offer any prenatal care.
Is there any other clinic you can refer me to?
I don't know of anything. I would look around on the internet.
You can try CareNet. I think they do prenatal care.
CareNet?
It's the first building on this strip here.
All right, so I want you to let that sink in for a second, because they actually took the time to let you hear the system's IVR, which, for those of you that don't know, that's integrated voice recognition. It specifically said in a recorded message, these are the things that we can help you with. But then you ask them if you can get help with those things, and, well, we don't offer those. I know it's confusing because our name is Planned Parenthood, but we only really specialize in abortions. So how long have we been being lied to? They keep saying that that's the reason the federal funding should not be taken away, because there are so many other things that federal money goes for. Really? What kind of things is that federal money going for again? Because you don't seem to offer prenatal care at all. There was one person that answered the phone who specifically said the only reason that you guys even had an ultrasound machine was to make sure that you could basically verify the conception date to make sure that the abortion was going to be completely legal. And, I'm not going to try to freak anybody out or gross anybody out on this show, but let's really just for a second talk about what an abortion is, because we're not talking about when you take your beloved pet in who has finally gotten to the point where they can't see and they can barely walk, and you can't really care for them anymore, so you take them to a vet and they are humanely put under, because that's what everybody thinks abortion is. They think it's just this little thing where they're gonna stick a little needle in the mom's belly, and the baby's gonna go to sleep, and it's gonna gently pass, and that's gonna be the end of it, and it will never know the difference. That could not be anything further from the truth. They actually have video recordings of the babies, and no, I did not say fetus, the babies trying to fend off the instruments that we're cutting them to pieces. And these are the same people that are telling us that we have to allow this to happen because it is part of health care. Health care for whom? And again, I am an ardent pro-life person. As far as I'm concerned, abortion is murder, period. But I understand that we cannot get back to the point where there is probably never going to be some form of legalized abortion in this country. But to have a group, an organization like Planned Parenthood, have lobbyists stand up and lie to Congress about the services they provide when you can plainly find out on your own whether or not those services are available for yourself. And if this is true, and I believe that it is because I actually took the time to call one today. I didn't record the call. If I would have thought about it, I would have actually called them from the station number and actually recorded the conversation. And now that I'm thinking about it, I might do that in a future episode, but I will probably have someone who is female do it. Otherwise, it might be a little weird for whoever answers the phone. But anyway, I did take the time to call today and tell them that I was interested to find out what type of services they provided. Guess what? My conversation went remarkably like the ones that you just heard. But these are the same people that tell us about all of the different ways that they are there to help and support women outside of abortions, and yet you just heard over and over again them say that their primary reason for existence is an abortion. And again, I have a huge problem with that. And I don't expect everybody to feel exactly the same way that I do about it. And I'm not saying that we should go back to 1955 America where women are barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. Nobody's saying that. But to say that women don't already have a lot of the things that they're supposedly marching about over the weekend and around the world, they have the ability to vote. They have the ability to drive a car. They have the ability to go get a job. They have the ability to decide whether or not they want to start a family. But the issue that I have with all of that is it takes two people to start a family. One of the other things that has driven me crazy about this whole pro-abortion movement is the fact that the father of the child gets absolutely no say-so. None. Ultimately, it is up to the mother because the mother is the one that carries the child. I want to know who's going to speak for the child or who's going to speak for the father. Because again, just as I told you, and I actually explained on a hashtag that started trending yesterday, that was hashtag my unintended joy, I actually talked about my 16-year-old son, who was a sophomore in high school, and is a very talented, very generous, very smart young man, and brings joy to me and my wife daily, but he was not planned. Never has he ever been called a mistake, but I will tell you that he was a happy accident. And he knows this. We weren't planning on him. And it would have been just as easy at that point to go, well, we already have between us 4 kids and 2 other kids, or 3 kids and 2 other kids. So, but no, because we understand what abortion is. That's the problem. Nobody actually teaches what it really is. They talk about it like it's this great thing, like it's this rite of passage. And that's another thing that has driven me crazy about this whole thing. I actually heard a celebrity say one time when she was approached by a pro-abortion spokesman or spokesperson that they wanted her to share her abortion story. And she was flabbergasted at first and said, but I've never had an abortion. And that would be a really, really logical, normal human response. And then she got to thinking about it afterwards, and she was saddened by the fact that she didn't have an abortion story to tell. Now, I want you to let that sink in while we're going to break, because, again, we have got to pay a couple of bills. When we come back, we're going to start rounding out the show, because believe it or not, we're getting towards the last couple of segments. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We will be back here in just a couple minutes.
offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Welcome back. Well, we are getting pretty long on this queue for the show here at the moment, but still got a little bit more we need to talk about tonight. And actually, again, just to kind of go over things with you a little bit, look, I don't really care where you are on the argument, per se, as far as abortion, pro-abortion, against abortion. I just want common sense. I'm not asking for abortion to go away. In a perfect world, there would be no abortion. I understand that. And it would be easy. But we don't live in a perfect world. So I understand that there's probably no way to put the genie back in the bottle. But why is it that we have something like Planned Parenthood that wants to pass themselves off as some sort of healthcare provider when really that is the last thing that they do? They're basically a baby part mill. I mean, come on. This audio should be one of the least surprising things about Planned Parenthood, because we've already had videos put out talking about them. Basically, we're talking about a human chop shop, for God's sake. And everybody's been okay with it. Not only were they okay with it, the people that tried to expose it were the ones that wound up getting in legal trouble. Now you tell me what kind of world that we live in when the folks that were trying to do the right thing are the ones that get in trouble. Now, the reason I bring all this up is because, again, everybody that's been listening to me now, especially for the last 18 months, you've heard me say over and over again, I was not a Trump supporter. I'm still not really a Trump supporter. I haven't jumped on the bandwagon, but I am giving him the benefit of the doubt because he is POTUS. Whether I wanted him to be POTUS or not is irrelevant at this point because he is POTUS. And I have respect for the office. And there are some things that he has done so far that I think are good things. We have company after company after company announcing either bringing jobs back to this country or beginning to increase jobs in this country. We have car companies talking about it. Amazon is talking about it. There's a whole list of companies that are talking about increasing jobs in America. Now, again, right now it's just talk. I understand that. But we also have the fact that he has basically taken us out of the running for the TPP. For those of you that have listened for a long time, you heard the entire station back when we were with K98 Talk come out again and again and again as to why the TPP, or especially the TPA, which was the beginnings of the TPP, was a terrible idea. And now the Trump administration is making sure that we don't become a part of that agreement. Now, there were Democrats and Republicans alike that were okay with that agreement, but let's not forget that was a dockable agreement that made it to where our sovereignty would become in question because anyone would be allowed to join the agreement by a majority vote of the partners. I have a problem with that because we are a sovereign nation. Therefore, we should have the ability to determine our own destiny. Now, a lot of folks, when they start hearing things like that, they're like, Rick, you're starting to sound dangerously like a nationalist, Rick. And all I can say on that is if that's what you think I sound like, then I guess that's what I sound like. But what I'm talking about is not this whole nationalistic tendency that is sweeping through this country right now. I'm talking about something that we always believed in before, was that America was a sovereign nation and we had the ability to govern ourselves. We've lost that somewhere. I don't know where we lost it, when we lost it, or how we lost it, but I didn't realize how much of it we had lost until now. Because you have someone standing up saying, look, this is a bad idea, so it's not going to happen as long as I'm president. And everybody starts having a cow. Net neutrality, which everybody was up in arms about when it first started coming into existence. And now all of a sudden Trump is like, yeah, no net neutrality. Now all the leftists are like, oh my God, he's trying to wrest control of the internet away from us. No, actually, he's trying to give it back to us. It really is that simple. So, I mean, those are two things in with very little time in between that he's done that I actually really, really like. Under President Trump, the House has just passed a bill to make federal funding for abortion illegal. Now, of course, it still has a few hurdles to pass, but I don't have a problem with that. Look, the only thing I'm going to tell you about abortion is I personally do not feel like any money that I put into the coffers should be able to be used for that. There are other ways that they can get their funding. If something like Planned Parenthood wants to exist, be a parts mill, that's fine. That's their right. They have the ability to do that. I can't necessarily stop them. But what I can do is make sure that I'm not blatantly and openly supporting them. How is that such a hard thing and a bad thing to do? I don't understand. All right, so that's going to do it for us for right about now. We're going to have to take another really quick break. When we come back, we're going to actually have just about enough time to say goodbye. So we're going to take our last break, get it out of the way. Sorry, it's been a little weird because I went long on the first couple segments, so we've been playing catch-up all night. But this is Rick Robinson, host of America Off the Rails. We'll be back with you here in about 2 minutes.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
All right, folks, well, that's going to just about do it for this particular episode of America Off the Rails. Again, though, a couple of things that I keep forgetting to mention because I've been sick and not necessarily firing on all cylinders. We just passed a pretty big milestone here on America Off the Rails. We just recorded, and actually this is officially our 300th episode of the show. So we've been kicking now for a while, so thanks for everybody that's tuning in. Also, the station on its Spreaker feed has now passed well over 200,000 individual plays. Now, of course, that's just on the Spreaker feed, so there are other ways those numbers are tracked. But again, I want to thank you for helping us reach that milestone as well. And for those of you that tune in every single day, whether it's live, Memorex, or however you decide to find all the work we do here on KLRNradio.com, we want to take just a moment to say thank you very much. We understand that there are literally millions and millions and millions of choices for you nowadays, and yet you still take time out of your busy, busy lives to spend just a little bit of your very, very precious time with us, and we thank you for that very much. And because I promised I would, and I keep forgetting, there is a new affiliate where you can go check out the podcast links, and that is High Plains Talk Radio. Just noticed last night that they were linking us over there. I haven't seen them put up the one for today yet, but I'm sure they will at some point. It looks like we just started over there yesterday. I just had no idea that they were running this. All right, so that's going to do it for this particular episode of America Off the Rails, folks. You guys have a really good night. Take care. God bless. And I will see you tomorrow night right here for live programming all the way through primetime. We have the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show, followed by Jesse's POV. Then we have Constitution and Culture with Susan and Dan. And then, of course, I'll be back with you live to round out the Grand Slam, so to speak, right here on America Off the Rails. Wednesday nights, where regular TV pretty much sucks, so you might as well hang out with us on the radio. So until I see you, take care, God bless, and stay tuned for those of you listening on KLRNradio.com for the Rhino Report coming up next. If you're checking us out on one of the other affiliates, just check their listings. I'm sure they've got somebody just as awesome coming up right about now. You guys take care, God bless. I know I've said that like 3 times. I promise I'm out this time, folks. Good night. Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.